Okay, here we go again. Hello everyone, it's Lou Martin here, and this is my little live stream video project for July 21st, 2016, and I'm calling these Spirit Talks, and there's my buddy Dennis, first man to the party. Welcome. Wow. Is life exciting or what? I did a one of these 2 nights ago, and there's Brenda. Hi, Brenda. And John and Joanne is here. Very good. Naomi, hi. So, my friends, thanks for joining me for the next 30, 40 minutes here. We'll see how we go. This is quite amazing to me. I have to say it again. To sit at my desk and do a live TV show, and then have a recording for video that I can post instantly and put onto YouTube. I've put everything that I've done in the last 3 weeks since the end of June onto my YouTube channel, which is under my name, Lou Martin. So you can catch up on anything that's there, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. So this is sort of after 3+ years after I gave up my car in 2013, and have spent the last 3 years right where I'm sitting right now for the most part, staring at screens. It's great. Hey Joanne, it's great to have a window out into the world again, and thanks so much from the bottom of my heart to everyone here, especially my dear friend Brenda, who is cutting and pasting and posting and transcribing like crazy, and we had what was it, something like 650 views in about the first 24, 36 hours, something like that. So yes, okay, very good. So it's great. There's a new friend that Simon, yeah, Sarfaci, yes, if I have that right. Anyway, it's great to connect with you all here. Let's see if I can give you something worth your time. Here's Lazarus, my teacher for the last 30 years. I have just put the Sirius Connection part 1 and part 2 is there as well on their website. Lazarus, hello. Lazarus says, this human evolution, this evolution of the human species, is more correctly a metamorphosis. It involves the emergence of a new kind of human being. This change is essential to create a new world. Your brain is a hologram that projects holographic images of body and of world. In order to project a new world, you need an evolved cranial hologram. That is what this evolution, this metamorphosis is about. Let me say that again. That was rather involved. Your brain is a hologram that projects holographic images of body and of world. In order to project a new world, you need an evolved cranial hologram. That is what this evolution, this metamorphosis is about. The new kind of human being will have a new kind of brain that can literally sense the new world. We mean it very literally when we talk of virgin futures, of positive futures, of dreams, of an evolving human species. We mean it more literally than you can currently believe, than you can currently imagine. Okay. I want to just say something here about Sirius. So tomorrow dawn, this is the 21st, on the 22nd, before sunrise, Sirius will rise, and that marks the beginning of both the Egyptian New Year and evidently the Atlantean New Year from Atlantis, and so it's a very powerful time this evening and into tomorrow. And then I was chatting with my dear friend Amy, Hey, there's John Edward. Hi. And Amy's up on the Mayan calendar, which I don't have any info about here, but she says that the Mayan calendar starts again on the 25th. So that's Monday, if I remember correctly, yeah? So that's pretty amazing. We've got all these, the Atlantean, the Egyptian, and the Mayan calendar, three very spiritual calendars, all pretty much around the energy of Sirius, you know, coming back to the beginning point of its evolution through our sky for the whole year. Okay, so there's that. Then in August, we have what's called the 8-8, August 8th, and that is that has to do with Sirius as well, and that has to do with what's called the Gateway of the Lion. And I've heard about this for years. I mean, this goes back to, for me, certainly the 90s. Yeah. The whole summer, of course, here, let me simplify. The whole summer is, this summer, you know, is, as my guides have said, it's a powerful crucible. You know, we're burning away the energies, yeah, Brenda, we're burning away the energies of what no longer serves us. So personally, emotionally, mentally, physically, in the last talk we did a channeling about working with the three lower bodies, physical, emotional, and mental, to help to, excuse me, pardon me, to raise the vibration so that our light body, our etheric body, can more powerfully and more easily connect with us. So, you know, I'm just going to touch on a lot of different ideas here, but this is, you know, this is this time of intensification, purification, awakening, healing, all these kinds of things. And so, of course, we see that in the wide world. And you know, I started talking about all of this, talking about Sirius at the end of June, and its alignment to the U.S. on the 4th of July of this year, and that is still working its magic. So the higher self, the soul, and the spirit. These are three of the most important energies that we have to work with. As I say, what I've learned from Lazarus is, sorry, one second here. The higher self is the future self of our human self now. And so when Lazarus is talking here about evolving our brain so that we can imagine the new world, so that we can see the new world, you know, that is the inner work. My guides say to be a light worker is to use your imagination and emotion to create the changes you want to see in your life. And if we've been studying Abraham and all the good info that they have to share with us, you know, their technique, their focus, their times of focus, they say for 17 seconds, that's one level of clarity. For 34 seconds, that's a higher level of clarity. For 68 seconds, that's you know, an ideal level of clarity. And so, you know, if your mind works anything like mine, you know, I think something, then I think of something else, or I imagine something, I imagine something else, etc., etc. So even when I'm, you know, like paying the rent or the bills, you know, or whatever it is, you know, it's like focus, 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 abundance, joy, freedom, happiness, you know, gratitude, peace, etc. You know, the mind just goes round and round and round and round, doesn't it? So to keep, but the emotional, the feelings of all is well and everything's good and it's all turning out, that's where the power is. So, you know, 17 seconds, if you feel a particular desire for 17 seconds, you start to maintain, you start to break through a boundary. And so when you're working with calling on your higher self, soul, and spirit, that's what we'll do here today. You know, they bring us up into a higher vibration. You know, they're not doing this. We're doing this. Yeah, they're boom. They're set. They're grounded in their higher vibration. So it's why they can only come so far down into our vibration. We have to come up to them. Yeah. Oh, here's my screen fading. What's getting darker? Yeah. It's been a long day, my friends. Let me tell you. Good to have you all here. So, Sirius rising tomorrow. I'll keep kind of going through this a few times, so I get all the points that I want to make. Geraldine Sharkey. Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. So when we start in peace, which I'm not quite there yet, as you can tell, start at peace, take a deep breath, align to Sirius. Now, as I said before, I'll say again, Sirius represents the Christ consciousness. I have this on my page as well. And it represents the transcendent doorway for spirit to be able to access our physical reality. So that's why it's such a Atlantis, Egypt, the Mayan calendar. That's why this is such a powerful time. This is like New Year's Eve, really, for Sirian fans. Yeah, and I'll share again what Lazarus has taught us, that many light workers are originally from either Sirius or the Pleiades, and the Pleiadians I'm still learning about, and I'm a big fan of, and I've channeled their energies. But the Sirians seem to be the eye on the pyramid, the top of the food chain there. And the Sirians are, if you connect with dolphins, there are Sirians that were dolphins. If you connect with eagles, there are Sirians that were eagles. If you connect with lions, yeah, there are Sirians that were lions, and crystals. So it's dolphin people, eagle people, lion people, and crystal people. And then there are also beings of light, yeah, if that isn't the strangest thing you've heard today. So it just means that, you know, we can access whatever we imagine, right? Whatever we believe, yeah. And then so the mind, the focus, the heart, the midsection of the pyramid of self, and then the spirit, the base, the grounding, the foundation, the core of our spiritual self. So when we slow down, when we breathe consciously, when we come back to peace, we open our hearts, we find you know, those things that we want to imagine having, doing, or being, or we want to bless the world. This is so important these days. Bless the U.S. and the election, for the U.S., for the world. Bless the candidate of your choice, Bernie Sanders, for myself here. You know, bless the people that are struggling and in pain. You know, there's a lot of violence happening on the planet, or we're learning about it much more quickly, you know, and it's affecting people much more deeply. So we want to keep blessing those situations, you know, because they need our prayers and our positive energy. There's Petra. Hi, my dear. So Sirius rising tomorrow. The higher self is the future self of the human self. We just heard Lazarus talk about evolving our brain. So when, like, I've been meditating for years, believe it or not, and the more you meditate and the more you go within consciously, the more peaceful, the more you have access to an inner sanctuary within yourself, where you can find a way to come back to peace. Yeah, that's the grace of a spiritual practice. And you know, so often our minds are busy and we're thinking of many things, and as I am right now, and you know, there's no clarity and there's no depth of focus. When so what I want to invite you to do here tonight, and as we prepare for tomorrow and the next week, which is going to be so important for the world, our little DNC over there in Philadelphia, and whatever unfolds for the highest good of all, you know, we can pour forth our love, our blessings, our peace, etc. We can invite as we've done here before, the leaders of this and other times that inspire us and we feel empowered to work with, and shine our light and share our love. So the world really needs that, boys and girls. Let me just tell you, I know you know this, the world really, really needs visionaries, clarity, people that can hold their, the vibration of peace, peacekeepers, peacemakers, etc. These kinds of energies. So it's, it's a powerful, powerful time. Whatever prayers we do here tonight, and whatever visions we hold tonight here, and however that evolves and unfolds, of course, the video will be up, and if it helps you and you like it, you can re-listen to it as you will. I played Tom Kenyon the other night, and we all loved it, myself included. And he has one here that I've used in class many times, his singing of the 23rd Psalm. There's Barbara. Hi, Barbara. And the 23rd Psalm is, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." These kinds of this kind of great energy. So basically, it's a beautiful devotional energy. That I am safe, loved, and supported, as my guides say. That all is well for me. Just want to say a few other tools and tips here. Thank you. We all have the conscious mind, subconscious, unconscious. We all have the masculine will, and we all have the feminine, unconditional love, the emotional and the mental parts of ourself. We all have these different parts. The very, very simple technique, maybe we'll do it here as well, is just turn within, put our hands over our hearts, and send love and light to ourselves and to this lifetime. Let's just do that and take a deep breath. Okay, thank you. Very good. So that's just a very simple way to, I feel how different I sound from that. That's great. That's a very simple way to get grounded. Well, my voice dropped like an octave. Very simple way to slow down, calm down, get grounded, get centered, etc., etc. And then from a place of peace, not from a place of striving or yearning or anguish or upset, those feelings are a part of life, and we're all going to feel those feelings. And God, haven't we seen in the media, just kind of, we're all being played like a musical instrument by the media these days. It feels like, one thing after another happens. Judy Amber Chase, my dear friend, bless your heart. One thing after another happens, and it just kind of moves us around, and we just kind of bounce from from reacting to things, so emotionally. And my friends, the people that write the stories and point the cameras and tell people where to point the cameras and help to write the stories, they know how to do that really good, So we are really being challenged, over this next week here. Let me just say what I think could happen, and let me say, thank you, Judy. Let me say what I would like to see happen, and what I would love for your support to be about. As I've said before, Sirius, which is the higher self of humanity, is profoundly triggering and affecting the U.S. this year, beginning on the 4th of July, and Lazarus has a term for this. Basically, it's all the corruption and all the deception and all the whatever, that we've lived with and put up with, for a long time now. As you can see, it's all really getting exposed. Mr. Trump and Hillary Clinton, not exactly the most stellar human beings on the planet. And then we have Bernie Sanders, who I think is really worth our trust and faith and support, and particularly what he and millions of people want to see happen in the U.S. with his help and in the world. So, this is a turning point. There is no doubt about it. And of course, we know that the election was stolen by with the Democrats, by the Clinton people. There's no shred of doubt about that if you've been paying attention at all. And we also know that, Donald Trump really is not, he doesn't want to run the world. He just wants the world to pay attention to him and think he's amazing, with everything he has to say. The emperor has no clothes, I say again here. But Bernie Sanders is a man of great integrity, and it seemed to be, I'll say one more time, all is being uncovered, that's right, that he, in order for him to be able to speak at the convention, he had to endorse Hillary, and that disappointed a lot of people, and on we go, But so this week, I'll say again, I channeled a few months ago from my guides that he would win, that Bernie would win the election, or would become the leader de facto. And so this week is when that is all going to become either impossible or inevitable, one or the other. And didn't I see yesterday that Julian Assange, through WikiLeaks, released 23,000 more emails that were all classified. Forget about 110 emails or whatever the director of the FBI said. Anyway, again, not to get lost in the minutiae, and there's always plenty of that, but the big picture is, what kind of world do we want to live in? How do we want to show up, in this story? And can we allow Spirit to work with us and through us, thank you, so that, hope, remember we did the Angel of Hope a couple times here recently, that hope can really begin to rise in the world. That's the challenge, that's the calling. And so just to review, as I started off here, I was talking about Lazarus and their message, and I'll just say this one more time. Very good. This human evolution is more correctly a metamorphosis. It involves the emergence of a new kind of human being. This change is essential to create a new world. Your brain is a hologram that projects holographic images. David Icke said the same thing, The Matrix, many others, of body and of world. In order to project a new world, you need an evolved cranial hologram. This is what this evolution, this metamorphosis is about. The new kind of human being will have a new kind of brain that can literally sense the new world. We mean it very literally, etc., etc. Okay, so what I want to say here, there's two or three other things I want to mention before I do the channeling and the meditation. There's a brilliant guy, you may know him, his name is Dan Winter. He's a scientist, and I connected with him in Colorado through other friends years ago and learned about the Heart Math Institute. I have a link to this on my page as well. Dan Winter has a new book, it's called Earth Heart, and that caught my attention because from my guides, that has been the title of something, that's been the title of my book that has now become the invitation instead, but Earth Heart. So I just want to say here, E-A-R-T-H, H-E-A-R-T. The Earth is a heart, and they have the same vibration in our language. And so we're talking about evolving the brain here, and as we all know from DNA, Greg Braden, consciousness, group consciousness, the Maharaji effect, Lynn McTaggart, the power of intention, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, etc., that I have a picture on my page here as well. That's why I put it up there. When we come into when we fear, then our energy, shrinks. uh, it becomes quite small, because fear constricts and contracts, yeah, and love ascends and expands. Okay, so in a moment here, when we do our channeling and the music and all that, we're going to consciously ascend and expand, and I'll bring through whatever words Spirit brings to me to help us to do that. Okay, but it's just to be very aware that if we can't, I want to say this, if we don't want to go into fear, we need to do what we did a minute ago, which is put hands over our hearts, breathe deeply and slowly, even visualize roots going down into the earth, or visualize connecting with the sun or the stars, etc. Some sense, I want to offer this as spiritual hygiene, some sense on a daily basis, of practicing integrating these energies. Because again, from Bashar talking about the fall of 2016, that things are going to be really, really rocking and rolling by the time we get to the equinox here in a few months in September. And the astrology from Steve Judd and others here, excuse me, it's kind of like that. So Dan Winter has